Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new English class. Today's class is going to be about the elements of a story, or what we call the elements of fiction. Story elements: setting, characters, plot, conflict, resolution, point of view, and theme. Setting. Setting is the where and when of a story. It's the time and place during which the story takes place. Mood. Mood is the feeling that the author tries to convey throughout the story, the atmosphere or the emotional condition created by the piece within the setting. Does the author want the reader to be frightened or sad? Or does the story make the reader laugh and think happy thoughts? To figure out mood, examine how you feel while reading the story. Often mood is conveyed by the story setting. Characters. Person, animals, and things participating in a story. Characters. We have protagonist and antagonist are used to describe characters. The protagonist is the main character of the story, the one with whom the reader identifies. This person is not necessarily good. The antagonist is the force in opposition of the protagonist. This person may not be bad or evil, but he or she opposes the protagonist in a significant way. Plot. Plot is the series of events in a story. The elements of the plot you have here: exposition. The first thing is exposition. This usually occurs at the beginning of a short story. Here the characters are introduced. We also learn about the setting of the story. Most importantly, we are introduced to the main conflict or the main problem. Rising action. This part of the story begins to develop the conflict. A building of interest or suspense occurs and leads to the climax. Complications arise. Climax. This is the turning point of the story. Usually the main character comes face to face with the conflict. The main character will change in some way. This is the most intense moment. Falling action. Action that follows the climax and ultimately leads to the resolution. Resolution. The conclusion. All loose ends are tied up. Either the character defeats the problem, learns to live with the problem, or the problem defeats the character. Putting it all together, exposition, rising action comes at the beginning of the story. Climax comes in the middle of the story. Falling action, resolution comes at the end of the story. Diagram of the plot. As you can see it here, it's a kind of brief of what we just said. Introduction, setting, characters, and conflict are introduced. Development and the rise of action. Climax, the highest point of action. Falling action, then we have resolution where the problem is solved. Special techniques used in the story: suspense, excitement, tension, curiosity. Foreshadowing, hint or clue about what will happen in the story. Flashback interrupts the normal sequence of events to tell about something that happened in the past. Conflict. Conflict is the dramatic struggle between two forces in a story. Without conflict, there is no plot. Conflict is the problem that must be solved, an issue between the protagonist and antagonist forces. It forms the basis of the plot. Conflicts can be external or internal. External conflict, outside force, may be person, group, animal, nature, or non-human obstacle. Internal conflict takes place in a character's mind. Types of external conflict: character versus character, character versus nature, character versus society. A type of internal conflict is character versus himself. Point of view. We have first person point of view and third person point of view. First person point of view is a character from the story is telling the story uses the pronoun I am me. Third person point of view, an outside narrator is telling the story, uses the pronoun he, she, and they. Theme. The theme is the central general message, the main idea, the controlling topic about life or people the author wants to get across through a literary work. To discover the theme of the story, think big. What big message is the author trying to say about the world in which we live? What is this story telling me about how life works or how people behave? I'd like to thank you so much for watching the video. Please watch it more than one time and try to study hard. Wish you all the best of luck. Goodbye.